Yo, what's up, guys? My name's SUBCHVRGE. Today, I'm going to be breaking down the project file for my track Grime in Your Face, which is out right now. So if you want to go check it out, I'll leave a link in the description. But it sounds like this. Grime in your face. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna open up some of the sections here. We have a few. I like to separate my stuff and color code it just because it makes it a little easier for me. We have effects, synths, choirs, pre-drop, some of the drums, and of course the basses. So let's just open some of these groups up, and we'll start with the effects since that's mainly some of the background elements here, most of what's in the intro. So a lot of this stuff is just, kind of white noise. I like to do this a lot in projects. I've mentioned this in other videos, but just to mention it again, I like to do this a lot in projects where I'll create sound design sessions and just kind of go crazy with like morphing and pitching stuff up and down. And a lot of times I'll create white noise out of like washout effects and a bunch of reverb and delay, and just kind of create my own little personal effects stems that I can just kind of plug and play from a different folder here. So like I'll have like ambience, atmospheres, and effects up in this folder. Then a lot of this will just be like kind of effects and white noise and whatnot and things of that nature that I can just plug and play in a song just whenever I need some background stuff. So yeah, this right here is two of these. Right here goes up into a Sultan Impact that I've taken the sides out of on the low end. But yeah, a lot of this stuff again is just white noise and effects and impacts and stuff like that. Up until we get up until 17th bar here. Then we start to get some risers. Like I have a Ray Volpe riser, some VR stuff. And some, also there's just a bunch of reverb on this. I can't remember where the reverb is. Oh yeah, it's on the entire effects group as a whole. I have a washout tool right here. It's Bass Clef's Easy Washout. I've mentioned it before in other videos, but again, super useful washout tool. It'll basically just create a bunch of reverb and delay on everything and make it, it'll pretty much make anything into a riser, honestly. It's very similar to Dada Life's Endless Smile in that sense. But anyway, yeah, just risers, synths, and some build drums right here. Of course, low pass to make the sub on the drop hit a lot harder. And then it cuts right here just to kind of give space for the other quick build up to go right into the heavy drop. But anyway, those are most of the effects. The effects kind of just repeat. I'm very lazy with effects a lot of the times. But let's move on to the synths section. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of the synths and kind of musical elements of the song were taken from some Ivory packs. He has Outer Space Volume 1 and 2, which I both bought because he's just an incredible sound designer and producer, and I've absolutely been loving his stuff. It's so high quality. So yeah, if you don't have that pack, definitely go grab it. Highly recommend. Well, both of them. Highly recommend both of them. But yeah, this is a guitar riff. And I have Halftime on here, which is a, I believe, Cable Guy. Yeah, Cable Guy's plugin to kind of just like half speed something, but it takes the sound and you can like automate some dry wet in the half time, so it doesn't have to like, it doesn't have to be 100% full half. Like it doesn't have to do that. You can create like kind of like a split almost, so to where there's a little bit of the halftime playing at once, and then you still have the higher end of the initial sound, so like without it. And then what I did kind of just, again, put the mix at 50%, 1 bar repeating and regular 2 times half, and yeah, it just kind of creates this fuller sound with the half time, like at halfway, so to speak. Yeah, everything is a half. And then so that kind of repeats up until bar 9. And then I have this cave ambience from Ivory as well. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll take a sample and then pitch it to the key so it doesn't, you know, sound so recycled from a sample pack, but this sound right here was just too good to pass up. I took a little bit of the lows out of the sides here with some EQ, and yeah, doubled with this. It's just a really nice effect. And then we also have some horns down here. Although they're not too present, they do add a nice little texture that you can't really hear, but it's more, I think as Skybreak has said in some of the tutorials, felt not heard. Yeah, so again, some of this stuff right here. And then another drone. I mean, this basically just could have been like an Ivory sample pack sample song. No. I have no idea, man. But yeah, a lot of Ivory stuff in this track. And then yeah, actually that's most of the intro as well. And then we get up into the pre-drop. Yeah, there's a cool little horn fill. And I did that with some Vincent horns. Just kind of pitched them around a little bit. And created my own little kind of fill. Again, the Ivory stuff. And then that heads right into the drop. But moving on to the choirs. So the original sound of this choir sample was in F minor, but since the song's in E minor, I pitched it down 1, transposed it -1 semitones, and then cut some lows out of it, and then used the, the washout tool is only being applied at the end. So yeah, I didn't really do much else to this. But I cut it for like, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, because I think the rest of it would just be yeah, so I did this to, you know, kind of just make it a bit more, I don't know, man. It's dubstep. Everything has to be repeated, you know what I mean? So anyway, moving on. Oh, I guess we do have some drums up here as well. Some cashmere orchestral kind of things up here, and then at bar 17. Sultan percussion loop is really carrying this whole thing. And then I also have one of my hi-hat loops right here, and then some Subtronics stuff. Appears to be just a clap that kind of increases over time. And I mean, that just goes into the drop. So yeah, let's tackle the drop. So yeah, we'll hop into the main basis section right here. Again, just a bunch of Ivory stuff. I'm a very sample heavy bass producer, so a lot of the times what I like to do is just take samples and then manipulate them to where they don't really sound like the normal thing. This one, I believe, this Frozen one right here, I believe it was an Ivory preset from the pack as well, because he does have presets in there too. I can't recall. Without all the effects. With the effects. It's basically just volume automating, I'm cutting a lot of the tail of that song or that sound to make it a little bit more, you know, choppy and to give more space for the sound to breathe or for the other elements of the song to breathe. Some heavy EQ right here on the low end, and then dipping out a little bit of the low mids as well. This is where a lot of people will find muddiness in their mix. I don't think this mix is super clean, but I think it's gritty enough to where it works. Yeah. Anyway, some glue compression after that, and then ducking a little bit more of the mids out, and then just span to ensure that, you know. Again, this section right here is the real problem section for muddy mixes. So like anywhere from like 100, 200 to like 5, 6, even as high as like 7, 8. So, you know, we are getting a little bit of action here, but yeah, it's still not as high as this stuff, which is really nice. If you can get that little kind of nice dip in the sub, or nice dip between 100 and 600, if you can get a nice little dip right there, then yeah, it works really well. But regardless, let's move on. Some more Ivory stuff. I told you, man, this song could be an Ivory sample pack demo song. But yeah, again, Ivory stuff, and this is actually a Joe B bass shot here from his sample pack, Sample Station, I think, volume 1, I think it is. It's a nice little gun without it. A lot of sub bass, but yeah, I cut all that and then boosted a little tiny bit right here, right above 1K. Just for the tonality. So without it, again, and then with it. So if I were to boost that, I mean, you can hear the kind of tone that it's going for. But yeah, I didn't want to go too aggressive with it. Some sustains over here from Samplifier's pack. I do have quite a bit of processing on these. This is frequency shifted pretty heavily, this one right here. And then using a resonator, I tuned it to the song, and then a little bit more EQ, just absolutely abandoning all low end, I guess, on the sides. Yeah, except if I were to bring this out, you'd still get a little bit of the cominess down here, but it's not super necessary, I think, for where I wanted this to sit in the mix. And then this is the higher pitch one up here. Not a whole lot, just kind of bumping the gain up a little bit, and some heavy EQing on the low end, pretty much everything below 2K. And then a little dip right here as well, because it was pretty heavy on the resonance. But yeah. That's pretty much it for that. I have some lasers down here. I can already tell this has M-comb on it. Where is it? Oh, it's probably inside. Yeah, so the laser section has some processing on it already. There's frequency shifting, OTT, more EQ cutting out lows, glue compression, probably more EQ cutting out side stuff. Yeah, and then G-clip just to get it nice and clippy. It's nice, and then I have washout, which I think is only happening in the for like the fills right here. Yeah, I don't think, yeah, there's no sound happening over here, so it's only happening for like the for the transition. Yeah, that's all it really is. But yeah, let's see what else is there. There is, oh yeah, the sub bass. The sub bass is something I'm really proud of. So a lot of the times, a lot of people like to create sub basses with Serum, and that works really well. But I prefer to utilize a specific plugin for this called SUBLab. SUBLab is a sub bass / 808 kind of generator. Much like Serum, but it comes with a bunch of stock presets in here from different producers, different audio companies, and just collectives, I guess. But yeah, there are quite a few really nice presets in here, especially in the kind of add-on packs. A lot of the times I'll use packs from or sounds from the Pure Subs pack or the Divine Bass pack, Really, really cool, really nice and clean and loud. So if I were to just, I mean, that's stock, it's like, it's real, real nice. But anyway, what I did for this is what I'll do a lot of the time. I'll use effect racks so as instruments, so I don't have to go and just pick one preset from the sublab or any other plugin and then kind of create processing around it, like drag a whole bunch of effects and whatnot. I'll save entire instrument racks and use those as instruments themselves, and it really, really helps speed up the workflow. I really love doing that type of stuff. But anyway, this was the thick white sub. That's a funny ass name. This thick white sub preset that I made. It's the low harmonics preset from Pure Subs inside of Sublab, and then I just made it mono, just for safety, I guess. I don't fucking know. And then I have Shaperbox here doing a volume shape on it. So if I turn off this, yeah, really nice. And then if I were to just let it go, and then I turn on Shaperbox, yeah, it creates just like a really nice rhythmy type flow here, just quarter notes, very, very simple. And then I turn on erosion, tried and true for bass music. I mean, everybody fucking uses erosion on sub basses or low end basses to give them a little bit of crispy sparkle on the top end. I mean, it just works, man. It just works. So yeah, that's basically what this is right here. But it sounds like I cut, yeah, so I cut the, I probably didn't even use the white noise then for this sub. I cut the frequency on this, and then first I laid it out, printed it to audio. There's like a few tonal changes in here, but yeah, I cut everything above 270, it looks like. Boosted a little bit of the harmonic right here, and then checked with an oscilloscope. It's that nice little sine wave shape that we're looking for in sub bass. And then I used some erosion, it looks like, on the sine mode. So if I were to switch this to wide noise, you get that classic kind of erosion sound that everybody uses. I use the sine mode right here. Another really, honestly, overused at this point effect, but hey, man, if it works, it works. I'm a big proponent of that. If it works, it works. And if you listen very closely, you hear that high end, which is kind of like a reduxy sort of vibe on the sub bass here. So without it, and then with it, it just adds a lot more character to the sub bass itself. But yeah, that's basically how I made the sub bass. Everything else is pretty standard, rhythmy kind of drums up here. There's like a reverse kick, so like the kick I used in the drum rack. I know, MIDI drums, cringe, but yeah, the kick I used up here, I just printed it out to audio, or I think I grabbed it from the actual sample pack to Virtual Riot Mode Step. I think Spicy Rhythm Drums kick. But yeah, I just dragged it out, and this is a really cool trick. So like if I were to grab this and just bring it out here again, I reverse it and then kind of warp it to where the kick is kind of like swooping into the original kick. And that's how you get a lot more punch on some of the kicks. It adds just like a real nice swooping low end motion to give you a little bit more oomph when the kick hits. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. A lot of the stuff is pretty cut and dry. I mean, I just have like a bit more frequency shifting kind of change ups in like the B sections, and then a lot of this stuff again is just from sample manipulation, to where I froze some of this stuff, flattened it, and then again just decided to manipulate it in different ways to get different flows for the second drop. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Yeah. Yeah, I never know how to close these out, man. But yeah, I'm glad you I'm glad you clicked on this video. If you learned something, I'm glad to have been a bit of a help in some small way. Thank you so much for watching the video. I'll be sure to be back with one of these again in the future. But till then, we'll see you guys next time, and thanks for watching.